Alright guys, so today we're going to be working on a couple things. So for one, we're going to go pick up some firewood, and because I have my sedan to swap my dad's car, we got the minivan today. So we're going to pick up some firewood, and then we're going to bring it over to where the smoker is, which means it's the first time I'm going to be able to show you guys a smoker. We're going to kind of give a mini pit tour of what it looks like, and then yeah, I'm excited to show you guys what we got. Alright, so we just loaded up all the wood. See back there. We're gonna now head over to the smoker, get everything unloaded, and then we'll find a place to stack this wood and get started in that pit tour. Alright, so the wood is stacked. For those of you guys who are going to be buying your own wood, I would, if you have the ability to, I would definitely pick up your own wood, unless you're getting a ridiculous amount. I wasn't getting too much, so I got like half a quart, so it wasn't a bunch, but right now I'm trying to save as much money as I can anywhere. So picking up your own wood, stacking your own wood, all kind of stuff. Man, I think it also just kind of helps you to figure out, you're going to be, touching every single piece of wood before you even start cooking with it. So, if you have wood that's a little bit greener or something that's a little bit drier, even while you're stacking it, you can kind of put them in certain places so you know how much green wood you have, how much wood that's ready to go you have. So it kind of keeps you in check and and so it helps you know how to build your fires, or maybe in the future, because you do have different types of wood, you'll have to during your cooks you'll have to mix between some of your green wood and your cured wood. So yeah, but luckily this batch of wood that I got today was pretty good. I don't think I'll have to be messing around with it too much, but yeah, pretty happy with it. All right, so the thing that we're all here for is for the pit. I got a primitive pit, so they're out of Georgia. So my buddy JD, brought it over to us a couple days ago from Georgia. So huge thanks to him. Put in some footage of him bringing that thing in. It was a beast. Definitely couldn't have done it without him. So JD and the people at Primitive Pits, thank you so much for this pit. But here we go. So here it is, guys. This is the 1,000-gallon primitive pit. I love this firebox door, the black, and then you got the primitive pit logo right there. You also see right here there are no counterweights. I personally am, not that I'm not a fan of counterweights, I just think the pit looks a little bit cooler without them. Alright, we also got our 10-foot stack. I believe that's what JD told me. And then we have a collector in the back. So it's what it looks like on the inside with all the doors up right here. I mean, it's just a massive cooking space. For those of you guys who haven't cooked on a 1,000-gallon before, I mean, there are a lot of times when, if you're just cooking just briskets or a bunch of ribs, it might seem limiting, only because there's only those are big cuts of meat. But man, this is a lot of space. And for me personally, I don't really mind if that pit is slightly uneven. Like if we have a hot spot in the front or a hot spot in the back, I think that'll just kind of help you figure out how you want to cook, where certain things need to be. Like if there are briskets or things that are just going to take a little bit longer, you can kind of position them in the right spot. And also you can cook more than one thing at a time if you do have spots that are a little bit hotter than others. Not saying that you can cook a steak while you're cooking low and slow, but there are different ways that you can kind of get around it. So for those of you guys who are so dead set on having your pit being super even all the way across, I think that's great if you're just cooking one thing at a time. But if you're trying to maybe do prep on the smoker with other types of things while you're cooking meats, those hot spots are kind of nice to have. Also, the other thing that I'm really excited about is, you see, this is all in the back of the pit where the stack is. Usually there isn't a grate back here, but you can kind of see this is just a little extra piece that we had talked about putting in there. It's just nice because we can fit, like I said, you can fit a couple things in the back. It kind of gives you an extra smaller row, but also if you are if you're rendering tallow or something like that, you can put it back there. But it's just a nice little extra space to have, even though you have all this real estate for everything else. Just having a little extra space when you might need it sometimes is super nice. Going back to the firebox right here, I would say this is honestly for anyone who's buying a larger smoker, even if it's like a 500 or certain 250s that have have a larger fireboxes. This is, to me, is what makes the biggest difference between a smoker that's easy to use and not easy to use, because it's big enough where you can put an entire log in there and not have it hanging above or just rolling around too much. Also, this thing it's something that we talked about a lot also when building this pit is, do I want to get a fully insulated or a semi-insulated firebox, only because I'm going to be in Chicago, and even today it's a little bit windy and it's in the middle of May. But I went with a semi-insulated firebox. I'm just more used to it. Yeah, I think it should be fine. I'm used to cooking in colder temperatures anyway and building a bigger fire, so I'm excited for it. And for those of you guys who are wondering what is the name of my smoker, a lot of people name their smokers just because of the name of Knox Ave Barbecue. Come on. You know what the name is.
Say my name. Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.
It just felt fitting to take one of my favorite TV shows. I'm wearing my Heisenberg, my Breaking Bad cook shirt. I've had this shirt since day one of doing Knox Ave Barbecue.
I am the one who knocks.
It just felt fitting to kind of come full circle with it. So I don't know if you can tell, but the color of my smoker.
What is this shit? This is blue.
There's just a lot of things that I didn't tell him that I wanted a blue firebox, and I don't know, there's a lot of things I didn't plan for, even starting this barbecue thing, moving to Texas, doing all this kind of stuff. But I want to have fun with it, and it just felt fitting to do it that way. So if you don't know what Knox Ave Barbecue is, Knox Ave Barbecue was a little mini pop-up barbecue restaurant that I put in my backyard during those summers when I was a high school teacher. The name came from just kind of like the intersection that we lived on. One of the street names sounded better than the other, and we just kind of went with Knox. It just became a thing where I was able to see a bunch of people from, whether it was from middle school, high school, college, from church, from work, and all that kind of stuff, and just being able to bring all these people from different parts of my life together at one time. It was just a really, really cool experience to do that. And I felt that what I was seeing happen was bigger than just feeding people barbecue. I wanted to kind of do it in a bigger way. I wanted to include more people that I didn't know. The only way that I felt like I could do that was I needed to, one, be able to cook more food, but two, I needed to learn how to cook food better. So that's why you'll hear me say a lot. I'll mention Knox Ave Fam, and you'll see a lot of my Instagram posts. I'll always put like hashtag Knox Ave Fam, because to me, I didn't want to name this barbecue thing after myself. I didn't want to, well, one, there's like a million different things with the name Joe in it, but I also just wanted to be more about the people who come and join, whether it's going to be people who eat the food, cook the food, prep the food, you know, just who are around it. I just wanted a bigger vision for what we were doing rather than just barbecue. And with that, I used to tell people that, you know, I want to be super ambitious with this barbecue thing. I feel like being in Chicago and being able to do something different here is, I don't know, something that I feel like is important to me. But I also know that no matter how big my goals are, however ambitious I want to be, if my food is mediocre, then that vision only goes so far. In order for me to excel and do more, you know, my food has to be elevated just as high as, you know, my ambitions are to do other things. So with that being said, guys, I'm really excited for all this. It's very interesting to try to start a business during the year 2020. A lot of things going on. I hope that, you know, even though I can't really do anything quite yet, that you guys will be ready to eat the food, come and support whenever we're ready to do this. But yeah, my intent is to make this as authentic as possible in certain regards, like, you know, buying this entire smoker and bringing it just so that I can do it right. You know, getting my own wood and making sure the wood that I get is right to make the food I think is, you know, proper, but at the same time, I'm not trying to be super traditional with everything either. I didn't want to come to Chicago and just be a carbon copy of so many other restaurants in Texas. I also want to, you know, challenge people who come and to challenge the idea of what barbecue really is and what it can be, how I can put a little bit more of who I am into the food. One of the examples is this too. I've said many times that one of my favorite things or favorite bites of barbecue is at 2M Smokehouse in San Antonio. Their tortillas with the nopales, you know, their brisket is one of the best bites of barbecue that I've had. But just because it's one of my favorite things that I've eaten doesn't mean that I feel okay with making my own tortillas and making nopales and putting on a tray, because even to me, that doesn't seem authentic to who I am. So just because I think it's good doesn't mean that I feel like I can put it on there and have it reflect who I am. Does that mean that I'm not gonna in the future, that when you might see tortillas on my menu that I phoned it in? No, that just means that I feel like I've gotten to a point where I can do that and I feel comfortable doing that. But until that time, you know, I really want to be respectful to all the other people who are doing this as well. You know, I just want to be super intentional about everything that I'm doing, including the food that I serve, how I serve it. I want to be intentional about being different in my own way by doing this barbecue thing. But I don't want to create something new just for the sake of being new. I wanted to reflect and respect barbecue as I know it, but also being able to respect it enough to try to push it forward and have it look and taste like it's something different. So, you know, if that's something that you guys are interested in, I would love to be able to feed as many people as possible. Love to be able to include as many different people as possible in this. So that's why I always say, you know, that I'm trying to grow this Knox Ave fam. You know, I want to try to build this family even bigger. If you guys are in Chicago or in the Midwest, and, you know, come by to try my food whenever you can. I'm excited for this journey, and we'll see where it goes.